Naomi Gordon writes, I'm needing a life in general reading. My life seems to be falling apart. Will I find a job so that I can afford to keep my house? Will I ever find a decent man to be in a relationship with? If I don't about a life in general reading, I try not to do general readings. That's sort of generic, cold and a bit sort of pointless, although they can be done. I just don't prefer to do them. But there is enough information there to ask about a decent job and a relationship. So it's really a sort of career relationship type thingy there, isn't it? So what we'll do is I'll shuffle the cards, and what we'll do is we shuffle the cards and just simply ask for the truth on behalf of Naomi Gordon concerning career and relationship issues. Will she get a decent job so she can get enough money and to keep the house, as she says there, and will she get a decent man in her life to have a decent relationship with? We ask for guidance and insight in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth always. And we just cut the deck like so there for you, Naomi. I'll just move things to the side here. I'll deal out 3 cards. The first card we deal is in the position of your recent past. Then the next card is the position of your present. And then finally here we'll deal out the future, the immediate future. In this particular case, we could call these positions in the spread the recent past influence, present influence and immediate future influence. So it's a timeline, isn't it? Beginning, middle and end. Let's see what's been going on just recently concerning this issue, and maybe it'll give us a clue into why you've asked the question, to what's been happening, and so on. We'll just flip that card and we'll see what its energy is. You've got the energy of the moon, just indicating there's a lot of darkness surrounding you just recently. There's been a lot of darkness surrounding you just recently, and you've been needing to seek advice. You've needed guidance through that darkness, maybe. I don't know so much about family members, but certainly friends. You tend to consult friends more than family members about things, maybe because they can empathise and they are your peers and all that sort of thing. That's what I'm just getting from that. It's as if, also, I sort of get, as I'm looking at the card, I tend to get the vibration of magic or occult, as if maybe you've tried either rituals, magical rituals, spells or something along that line to try and better things in some way, healing or something of that nature, or you've consulted somebody who claims to practice that. Isn't that an interesting thing to sort of just go through one's mind then? I want to see what's going on now. I want to just see how this is, I suppose you could say, is it the effect of, as if that's the cause? Notice the moon, of course, is introspective, isn't it? It has the power to sort of, I mean, I suppose when shepherds are out at night watching the flocks and things, they have time to sort of think, don't they? In the moonlight. Of course, there's no such thing as moonlight, is it? Is there really? There's no such thing as moonlight because it's reflected sunlight. It's reflection, isn't it? And maybe I got a sort of feel here that you've been reflecting on something, and if to get guidance through the darkness, you may have been consulting some form of oracle yourself. I don't know what that would be. Could be tarot, runes, any other angel cards or something, or even the witchboard. But certainly, whatever you've been consulting here, it's given you an insight into the shadow. The shadow is that most sort of darker side to oneself, isn't it? Not so much negative, just the darker side, maybe the true self, really. I was consulting the Druid Animal deck, and I was thinking of the wolf all the time, and I ended up pulling the bloody wolf out. It was strange how that happened. But back to you again. Let's see what's happening now. Let's see what's vibrating here. We'll just get this card here and we'll just rotate it around. Now, nice and slow, again. Not to disturb its energy or anything. And notice here we've got the energy of the sun, or the element of the sun. The sun is classed as an element in this particular oracle here, this deck. More Egyptian vibrations going on, indicating really that perseverance will bring you rewards. Your perseverance will be rewarded. I've got a sort of sense here as though it's the old cliche of if at first you don't succeed, try again. And that's what you're doing now. With the moon helping you to reflect and seek within yourself, maybe to some degree. The sun is offering up. Often the sun, of course, in the tarot deck can symbolise new companionships, new acquaintances, a genesis of some kind, some form of beginnings. A very powerful energy, isn't it? With the sun god, the Egyptian sun god Ra there, showing the beginnings and genesis, etc. That may have sort of come to your attention, I don't know. Notice, of course, the moon, even the sun, the moon and the sun, they are surrounded by darkness, although in the daytime you wouldn't think it. It's just the sun is the light in the darkness, and the moon was the reflection of the sun's light upon it whilst you were in the darkness. So you could still see the sun's light, really, although you were in the darkness yourself, reflecting off the moon. I don't know if that might mean anything in particular. But over the past 3 or 4 weeks or so, there certainly seems to be strong vibrations here. But will you get enough money in, as it is, will you get a decent enough job to get your home sorted out, your home life sorted out? It's And of course a relationship, is there anything there around the corner? This is really, I suppose, the cliffhanger really, isn't it? I want to now pull the next card here. This, as we know, represents the immediate future, your immediate future, and this vibrates around about between now and this time next month, roughly. Let's flip it nice and slowly, not to disturb its energy, nice and steady as we go. Notice there, a member of the royal court, the king, yet more Egyptian vibrations in your immediate future. But the king is a member of the royal court, and he is naturally a man in your life, or a man who will enter your life, a man of authority. Yes, got diplomacy at heart, maybe, diplomatic, can be reasonable, should be, but he's the one with the power. Maybe is this a new employer? I was thinking a new employer whom you might get a bit too involved with, just with it being the relationship side, but I don't sort of sense that strong. So it was just a theory because of the two questions you sort of joined together. But if you want to say, well, in general, if you want to view it as in general, as if we could for the sake of it, then of course from a general perspective, he will be there. He could represent the authorities. It may be helping you or hindering you in some way, but it is a man. It is a man that you will have dealings with between now and this time next month. It could be the man of your dreams, or it could be the man of your nightmares. Who is it? You are the one who searched within just recently, who reflected upon her situation. You're the one now who is persevering, and hopefully that perseverance is now bringing some form of reward, a new genesis, a new beginning. Because the sun is to do with where the sun transits the meridian, it's fire, isn't it? It's to do with energy. So spirits of the south, resulting in the king, and resulting in authority. Is the king also some sort of vibration, or some sort of man who will give you some authority and power, maybe boost your confidence or something, or back you in some way, sponsor you, or from a metaphorical or actual perspective. It's a very interesting read, that, really, because it offers more questions than answers. We come with a couple of questions and now you can leave with loads more, and that's good, because that means it's getting us thinking, it's getting us to pontificate, I suppose, cogitate, whatever you want to put, whatever spin you want to put on it. And maybe I want to pull another card here, more as an overview, not just to see what's going to happen throughout March to April. April, of course, being the financial year in most places on the planet, but let's just see what offers up here. The Caduceus, there's an interesting vibration there. We were on about healing earlier on, weren't we? And notice there the snakes around the pole, just indicating there for you some form of healing energy. Also offering up news from afar, isn't it? If this is to do with your career, primarily to do with that, and then if you keep your house and whatever, you will receive news from afar about that. Afar, of course, doesn't necessarily mean halfway around the world. With today's internet technology and things, it could just simply be in the next state or the next city, as opposed to close local where you are sort of round the corner. But either whatever it is, although it's surrounded by darkness as well, nevertheless things in the treasury have a shine, have a glisten to it, don't they? And you can see it in subdued light. So whatever small amount of light there is, even in the moonlight, as you just call it that, even in reflected sunlight, it still has some sort of glow that you can notice it and recognise it for what it is. And I think for that now, or just for now, these cards for you have spoken.